Okay, welcome, and my name is Randall Hogue. We're here in the Schenectady Access Cable Council studio, um, and we have today two guests, Sat Prem, if I say it
Yes, it's
correctly,
right. It's correct.
and Prem Wusi,
Correct.
right?
Wonderful.
Who I became interested in what they do by looking at a film that was done recently at a nursing home locally in upstate New York, and using and teaching meditation to residents in the nursing home who live a fuller life and with more awareness. But Satpram is going to explain a little bit better than I just did what that's all about and how that works.
So meditation is medication, is medicine. When one goes inside, into oneself, into silence, and looks in, like going into a big room which one never has opened, and then one looks inside, it looks in the beginning very dark. Skeletons are laying around, some animals, rotten stuff is there. And the more one cleans up and goes inside, the more light it becomes, the more clear it becomes, and the more one goes really into the own light. And this is helpful, this is healing. And I teach a special breathing technique where the people breathe in light and breathe out all the past down. And it helps. Here are ill people, very ill people, old people. For them, I'm surprised that they can sit so long in silence. And for them, it's so helpful. I come now the first time here. They have back pain, they have all kinds of pains, of course, in this age. But they say they become better. And who am I not to believe it? I trust. Why should they tell me stories? They feel better. So I'm very happy to do that. It is very, very beneficial to do this work, especially with old people, which love something like this, which love the music, which love to come here, which love to sit in a circle and feel themselves, look inside and share with other people. That's very important because we all go toward the end, and to go through it alone and with dark pictures, with fear, that's not so beautiful. So this gives them nicer ideas, nicer pictures about first of themselves, and then it's not so bad to go away, just leaving this custom, this house, and go into another house.
Satpram, how did you become interested in this field in the first place?
I myself was not very happy, like many people. Went through many tries, changed professions, very quick, creative. And when I was about 37, I was at the end of my wisdom. And I got a call, an inner call to India. And I went there to an ashram and learned there many skills. First, to heal myself, to become better, to feel better, lose my depressions, and find meaning for my life. I didn't find meaning for life. Even I didn't have a problem. I was not ill, I had enough money, I was intelligent enough to make money. Everything was flowing. I had boyfriends, I had a husband, everything. But I was not happy. And this is what I learned in this ashram, to find myself, go inside. I learned meditation there. Many meditation techniques and many other skills. And as it helped me, slowly, people came to me and I helped them. Because I have the experience on my own body, I can understand their problems, body, mind, soul, and can help them, as holistic therapist, from which angle I can come to this problem of this special person.
Now, how do you feel that this would be useful in this case, like the nursing home setting, where you went to the people where they were, in many cases, in wheelchairs and bound, to the property? How did you make that connection, and what were you trying to accomplish for these people?
I was basically trying nothing. It was a happening. Wusi met one lady during jogging in a park in Pebble Island, and came to know she is working for this old age home. I always say existence takes care, existence forwards this work. And she was working with many old people sitting there in wheelchairs, so she made the contact. We were invited. We got a contract with them after I had spoken to the people what I have to offer, and they were all 100% finger up, interested to try this meditation. I didn't know the outcome. Afterwards I thought, my God, they sit in wheelchairs, they are old, they are handicapped, they have pain, they come from operations. I didn't know they are so ill. Because I didn't see the actual people which did the meditation course. The first one were 14 people? 16 people, okay. And they became more and more. And so for healthy people to sit 1 hour in silence is already something, to bring them there. I train the people to do that. With joy, not with feeling bad. Yeah? This is not, it's a happy doing. And so I gave them the instruction, the breathing, the blindfolds, and they were all enthusiastic. And the people were sitting. Some were falling asleep, the head down. Some were changing the positions, but they all stood with the blindfold 1 hour till the end. And then the blindfolds came up. And they were eyes shining, happy, and giving their feedback. And this was, I must say, such a gift and fulfilled me that I said, this is what I want to do. It's much more fulfilling than training, which I still do, training people to become meditators. But these old people, which looked hopeless, alone, left on their own, you could see that they really were like little children, nobody helping them, dependent, and wanting this. And then how they enjoyed the music and the touch and the feedback they gave. 100% wanted to do it again. So we have a contract with this home and did 4 more meditations, and people became better, they told me. I was surprised, happy of course. Neck operation, going with a, how you call this?
Collar, like a
Neck
protective
collar
neck
brace.
collar. So because they couldn't hold their head by themselves, next time the collar was up and they were straight-headed. This was for me very, I'm grateful. I'm only grateful. I'm full of gratefulness that I got this opportunity and that I'm allowed to do that.
How would you describe to people, which I know is almost impossible, but we can try, that are not familiar with meditation, what it does and what's the benefit and how it works? There are a lot of people who don't understand what it's about.
Yeah, meditation is medication, first of all. It really helps you holistic. And to become to know it yourself, you cannot read a book and buy a meditation CD, which nowadays the New Age movement does. You can buy everything. It's nonsense. You have to learn it. You have to learn this step by step from somebody who has the experience, how to sit, how to breathe, find your meditation. Some people need more dynamic meditation, dance meditation, whirling, Sufi whirling, yeah, all this meditation, 147 meditations I can teach if needed. Vipassana, yeah, depending on the person. Some people are very movable, they need more to come in silence because they will suffer. This is nonsense. When you are not silent, how can you be silent? So first you have to teach them one-to-one. I don't work in groups. I work one-to-one 3 days for an initiation to have joy with it. So it becomes yummy, yummy. And this is for every person different. Some person is nervous, some person has knee problems, cannot sit so long, another person has problems with the blindfold on. There are many, many things one has to see and help them. So it becomes in the end a joy. And the people say, wow, I do meditation today. It helps me. Yeah, meditation is medication. You go in
yourself, you become silent, very silent. You see your inner strengths. It is very good also for business people, which are nervous, which are all the time under pressure, under tension. They have a short time, 1 hour a day, half an hour, short time for themselves and sit and look in. They breathe, they feel themselves. It is very powerful. So I don't work only with old people, it's very good for everybody. For young people which have depressions, which many people have in our time, they find themselves back by breathing, sitting, very simple. It is not a big thing. You just sit, look in, breathe, and watch. And it gives you so much strength and power which you never had before or knew you have. You come to your inner heart. You hear it maybe for the first time. You see your eyesight, your senses become strong. Your taste becomes better. You feel your whole environment, which you maybe have slept over all the time, walking like a zombie, passing the whole day and not even knowing in what a beautiful world you live and how beautiful you are and how beautiful everything around you is. Flowers, the trees, the water, the wind, your breath, your neighbor, the street, dog barking, everything is beautiful. You go in the world of mystery, your own world.
In the beginning, just being still is not easy.
No, it's not
some
easy,
people.
and much more difficult it is. That's why it is trained. It's a 3-day course. Yeah, you learn it, but without suffering, to find out what is the best position. The people first learn to look at their body. People are so asleep, sorry, that they even don't know how they breathe. They forget breathing. Yeah, and they learn how to breathe. They learn there goes breath in. I say light goes in, not just oxygen. And the used energy goes out through the mouth. There are special techniques, yoga techniques I teach there. Very simple for everybody. Very easy to learn, 5 minutes.
And learning the breathing is a big part.
Breathing, the sitting, the being with the darkness, and then it starts looking in. Because there are people, they freak out. They never looked at themselves, only from the outer. The lipsticks, the hair, the suit, outer, everything outer. And what other people say to them, that's what they reflect. They never look at themselves, how they feel, how they look, how they want to look. Never. Everything is reflected from outside. So they become familiar with themselves, and that's scary, because it is as if you go in an old castle, 500 years closed, you open the big wooden doors, and then of course there are skeletons from animals inside encaved, and spider webs, and maybe some salamander pushing here. It's scary, and this is your inner. So you start to clean it up, and more. The more you do meditation, the less scared you are, and you know it disappears. Just watching it, focusing, looking at it, it disappears. You don't need to do anything. You don't fight it, you don't hold to it.
There's nothing to be afraid of.
Nothing to be afraid of, exactly. That's a good way you put it. Meditation makes fearless. Yeah, our culture today more and more works with fear. People are scared. They don't know how to walk anymore. They don't know how to sit. They don't know if they like to dance or not, what they like. Yeah, completely confused, dependent, and fearful. And fear doesn't go together with love and light. So basically, what I'm allowed to teach and what was taught to me and did work is to stay on the side of light and love. And not keep it just a word. Live it in day to day. Be friendly to each other, not playing friendly. Yeah, being friendly, because it comes from the heart, not from the head.
My people used to say, well, an expression that the good thing about banging your head against the wall is when you stop, it feels good. And the people in living today, from your description, they're so involved in being afraid and being in these other things, they don't know how good it would feel when they do stop, when they do become still,
Yeah.
and when they do become centered.
They
you
have
know.
to take risks. You cannot have an experience when you don't make steps. They have to trust me. If they don't trust me, it's already the finish of the meeting. Yeah, so trust is the first thing, and this is actually happening when people meet me. They like me or they don't like me. It's a very simple thing. Yeah, you don't marry when you don't like somebody, and it's like a marriage. It's very intimate.
Yes.
Your spiritual teacher, you tell a lot of things which you never would tell your husband, your wife, your father, mother, friends, because it's inside. You see it and you sit on it and you're scared to let it out. So it's like a therapist, like a psychotherapist.
Now, you know, I just want to mention the website, www.satpremji, which is SATPREMJI.com, where they can get more information and they
Yeah.
can contact you. And Wusi, how did you get interested and involved? And what's been your experience so far? Or is that too many questions?
A lot of questions at
You
the
take
moment.
any one
As
of
you
the
see,
three.
I have little tears in my eyes right now because I listened to Satprem. And about 4 years back, if I remember, I was so sad and empty inside myself. I was a business consultant at that time. I have an MBA. I did follow the protocol, become a manager. A car, flat, everything that you have, but I felt so empty. There was a hole inside myself. And I was very self-destructive at that period, very depressive, even if I had everything. And I went on a vacation to India, and I met Satprem. And it clicked. 3 days later, I started the meditation course, and many questions I had kept to myself inside and never dared to ask them outside. I was a seeker, this hole I wanted to fulfill, and we started to meditate together. And what to say? It changed my life for the better. I felt the strength to drop out. I took the rest. I trusted her, jumped. I sold everything back in Germany, and I'm now here.
I got scared.
So even though she's crying, she's very happy.
No, I am. It's
Yeah,
a
or
happy
maybe
cry.
that's
It's a
why she's
gratefulness. It's a gratefulness.
Okay,
It's just a gratefulness for this
that's good.
love she puts on me, because I encounter my own things inside, and sometimes I'm scared myself what I find here inside myself. But now I'm here to support this present I got, to help that to bring to others here in this community.
That's a wonderful explanation and a great philosophy to share what you found that was important to you, and to try to bring that and to share that with other people. And I think that here in Schenectady we have also a large elderly population, as you know. Most of upstate New York is in that way, and we kind of wanted to bring some of this that you offer, that you do, that you show, bring it into their awareness by doing this program and putting it on public TV, and then who knows where the interest and the calls on the people will come from, because there are a lot of people who are very interested in this type of thing, and most the American people and the people in New York in particular, to give you an example, a minute is 60 seconds, but a New York minute is only 30 seconds. So everybody in New York is always in a hurry. They're always busy. They're always under the gun. and under the stress. They have a lot of stress.
Yeah.
And it's become their normal way of life. They don't know much that's different.
They have strange ideas. I mean, one shouldn't generalize, but just two examples. A curious person, looked intelligent, a gentleman, asked me, "What are you doing?" And I explain him what I do, and healing, the word healing comes. And he looks at me and says, "Voodoo?" I couldn't believe where the movie in
Yeah.
this head of this man was. Another, this was a woman, meditation, we speak about meditation, and then at one point she says, "Is it going to be naked?" I don't understand what is going on in the head of the people.
They
You
don't know.
there are ideas, they must have them from somewhere. Yeah, they have some ideas which are completely wrong. My temple is here inside. You are all the time laughing so happy.
I'm
What
smiling.
happened to you? What happened to you?
The pain is going away.
Gretchen.
So much pain in my back, so.
Pain is gone. Really?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Great. I'm happy for you. So use the breathing technique. Use it.
My therapist, she was sitting right here. She just loved me. She just said the pain is so bad that sometimes I can't breathe.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to focus out.
So that's why you grin so
I have
happy.
to because it's usually so
wonderful.
much pain that, I have to smile sometimes.
So use the trick. Breathe in the light.
And that's
Breathe
it.
out the
And that's what I'm
pain.
trying
It's
to do.
working. And you.
Very good.
You had a good sleep. And I don't know if I can come back because here is a new director and she has to make a new decision if our contract will be following. If you want me back, you just vote. You can think yourself. You wanted before the meditation to happen, and you just say, "Hey, we want the meditation," and then I come. You can take your self-responsibility. If you want to have it happen, then we make it happening. Yeah. Right?
We pretty much make our decision.
Pardon you?
We pretty much know that we like certain things and we know the
Yeah.
service committee to get them and they get them.
Yeah. You had a new director. I was not introduced to. She came new. Yeah.
Yes.
Yet. Okay. You think you will introduce me?
First of all, there are a lot of different organizations and a lot of different senior homes and organizations
Yeah.
that serve this community and so forth. They also have a lot of regulations, like the federal regulation, then the state regulation, and then the local regulation. Even within each hospital, they have a lot of what they call red tape. And part of that is they have these laws about, for example, sharing patients' names with anybody. Because they make a law in this country that it's their privacy, so the people have to actually ask for the information. So it's not even the administrator or the hospital or the nursing home, what have you, it's the rules that they are given that they need to follow.
Yeah,
Because-
but in this case, we were already doing 4 sessions there, and we knew the names of the people, but I don't have them in my head.
Ah,
And they were personally asking to get the CD, and David was filming there already. Yeah, they gave their allowance to film. So I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
That's my answer to your question. I don't know if I'm going to make there again a
Oh, but there
meditation
are
room.
so many other places as well.
Yeah.
The other thousands of hospitals throughout the country were not familiar with it, were not in favor of it. The stress reduction was not accepted as legitimate treatment or legitimate therapy. And today, through the John Kabat-Zinn and other people through the University Medical Center, it's become accepted and insurance companies now actually pay for it. Where at one point they were very, anything that's new, people are skeptical or something, and it has to be worked through. And in this case, It took them a number of years to get it generally accepted, and
50
today,
years ago.
well, today,
It's a long time, no?
it's accepted all over the country. If they hadn't proved it then and stayed with it, then it would not be accepted today.
I wouldn't be probably allowed to work in this place at the first place, yeah.
Yes, and so we have probably more red tape and rules in New York than they have anywhere else. Just the nature of how they operate in these places. But there's also a lot of free-thinking people and a lot of different types of organizations in different places. We have, for example, there are organizations that do the traditional yoga and holistic medicine, and they're starting to get connected to each other.
By the way, just a moment, Lucy is a yoga teacher, a professional, initiated by a yogi in the Himalayas.
Oh,
So
great.
this is real yoga, not housewife yoga, which I very respect. This call, this people which in 3 months are yoga teachers is not possible.
Do you do yoga classes, and is that on the website? You know, when
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
where? or
Yes,
what have
it
you?
is.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's in our center, yeah.
But
so
it's-
people can go to the
Yeah.
website and get
Yeah.
that information.
But it's also one-to-one. Up to now it's one-to-one.
Yes, okay. Well, that's a very good thing for people to know, and it's a
Yeah.
good place to begin.
Yeah.
A good friend of mine is a Tai Chi teacher. He's from China, and you know, it's not easy to get any kind of any kind of a thing going to a great extent. It almost has to stay with it. We started a ballet school, which was off the subject many years ago at my home, and we had bought a house that had a what do you call it? A dance floor in the house, a ballroom. And we say, what
Nice.
can you do with the ballroom? Well, it's for
Dancing.
dancing. So let's
What
do a
else?
dance school, right? So we went and we did the ballet. Well, the first thing that happened was the community took us to court to sue us to stop us from opening up a ballet school. That was the first thing. That was a stereo sci-fi.
How you keep this humor?
So then
This
we
is
went to
wonderful.
court and we won and we established the school, and that was 20 years ago. And today my daughter is the mistress, teacher, owner, operator of the ballet school. She was a child then, but now it's her school. And we had to stick with it. But the first time we did a class, 2 people showed up, maybe 3. Now you can't run a business with 2 or 3 clients, like 2 or 3 students. And then it went on to more and more and more, and then one day we hired a teacher. When we did a recital in the 5th year, we had 250 students,
Oh,
Wow.
and we had 500 people, the parents or the grandparents, whatever, more than 500 people come to the recital to see the children perform.
Is it here in the theater? Because
It's-
we have a friend going there.
No, this is in
Kathleen.
Canon Jahari. But
Okay.
the thing is, though, people are skeptical, and it's difficult sometimes, but they're wonderful people. Once you crack the nut and get to the real person inside, you'll see many wonderful people out here. But the environment is a skeptical environment. Now, the environment is a very hurried and busy environment.
Fearful, yeah.
So my only advice is to stick with it. We'll introduce you to plenty of people. I have
Wonderful.
a lot of organizations that I'm involved with, and some of them that I run as president or what have you, that you could also network with some of those people. And I think
Thank
you'll
you.
end up having a wonderful experience. Just once you
Thanks.
get beyond that hard shell of the initial,
So you are our midwife.
indirectly, see, she did cheer up, by the way. Well, we know exactly. So with that, they're gonna go to the second half of the program, and they're going to also show some video from the class that you did at the nursing home that we have on the tape. And with that, I wanna thank you, and again, well, to Schenectady, New York.
Thank you very much.